John Calvin on Psalm 100, verses 3 through 5. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For the Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations. Know that the Lord is God. It is He who has made us. To say God made us is a very generally acknowledged truth, but not to advert to the ingratitude so usual among men, that scarcely one among 100 seriously acknowledges that he holds his existence from God, although, when hardly put to it, they do not deny that they were created out of nothing. Yet every man makes a god of himself, and virtually worships himself, when he ascribes to his own power what God declares belongs to him alone. Moreover, it must be remembered that the prophet is not here speaking of creation in general, but of that spiritual regeneration by which he creates anew his image of his elect. Believers are the persons whom the prophet here declares to be God's workmanship, not that they were made men in their mother's womb, but in that sense in which Paul in Ephesians 2 verse 10 calls them the workmanship of God, because they are created unto good works which God has before ordained that they should walk in them. And in reality this agrees best with the subsequent context. For when he says, we are His people, and the sheep of His pasture, he evidently refers to that distinguishing grace which led God to set apart His children for His heritage, in order that He may, as it were, nourish them under His wings, which is a much greater privilege than that of merely being born men. Should any person be disposed to boast that he has of himself become a new man, who is there that would not hold in abhorrence such a base attempt to rob God of that which belongs to Him? Nor must we attribute this spiritual birth to our earthly parents, as if by their own power they begot us. For what could a corrupt seed produce? Still, the majority of men do not hesitate to claim for themselves all the praise of the spiritual life. Else, what do the preachers mean by free will? Unless it be to tell us that by our own endeavors we have, from being sons of Adam, become the sons of God. In opposition to this, the prophet, in calling us the people of God, informs us that it is of his own good will that we are spiritually regenerated. And by denominating us the sheep of His pasture, he gives us to know that through the same grace which has once been imparted to us, we continue safe and unimpaired to the end.